Good afternoon again, everyone. I didn't catch you out on the phone. I am Dr. Laura Hargrove, Director of Faith Outreach for the Moore Miller Administration, and I want to welcome you to the Governor's Reception Room and thank you for being with us today as we are here gratefully welcoming the therapists on their journey as they proceed to appear home. We have so many thanks that can be. Thank you for being here, Secretary Maria Martinez, for all of your help, for the Interfaith Council, and for everyone that has made this a priority today. We're going to move right quickly through our program here and presentations. I would first like to call Reverend Larry Walker to give welcome and address very quickly. Reverend Walker is the Executive Director of the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives.
Stay here, I'm going to be very quick. On behalf of the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives and all of the wonderful people that work in this office and for the government, thank you. Thank you for your journey for peace. The world is watching, and we're glad to be a part of it. May you be blessed.
Thank you, sir. And next, I would like Mr. Prince Takar to come forward. He is chair of the South Asian Commission and was an integral part of bringing the monks to us.
I'm going to be a couple minutes longer than most here married, so just bear with me. So, good morning. I see you in the middle of here, but distinguished members of the Chamber, Assembly, esteemed guests, and fellow Marylanders. Today, as the chair of the South Asian Commission, it's both a privilege and a humbling honor to stand before you to pay tribute to these devoted monks and their inspiring work for peace. What began as a journey in October 26 in Fort Worth, Texas, has become a 2,300-mile journey of discipline, faith, and unwavering commitment to compassion. They walked through hot winter conditions. They endured physical hardship. Even after two of the monks were injured, they kept walking. Just days ago, they walked single file across Cherry Bridge into our nation's capital, and this morning they completed their walk from the Navy Marine Corps Stadium to the Maryland State House. The final mile is very powerful. It represents the meeting of spiritual purpose and civic leadership. It represents peace is not passive. It is an active and international choice that requires effort, courage, and the willingness to move forward one another even when the journey is difficult. Maryland's strength lies in the values that bring people together. The principles these monks embody: mindfulness, non-violence, compassion, humility, and service are universal ideas that uplift all communities. We are proud that under the leadership of the Moore Miller administration, our state continues to reflect these same commitments of inclusion, respect, unity, and service. At a time when different messages may be engaging in other places across the country, Maryland stands firm on its commitment to bring communities together. That is the leadership that makes us all proud Marylanders. In a time when the world can feel unsettled and divided, the monks' quiet discipline sends a powerful message. Peace begins within and expands outwards through action. On behalf of the South Asian Commission and fellow Marylanders, I expect our deepest gratitude to the monks for bringing their journey through Annapolis into this historic chamber. May their walk inspire us all to lead with humility, to serve with compassion, to work together across differences. And may we all continue this walk together. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure again to introduce and present our Lieutenant Governor, Governor Keenan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I tell you, my heart is so full today with peace and compassion and unity. To the Venerable Bhikkhu Pannakara, to the Venerable monks, volunteers, Aloka, the peace dog, members of our Interfaith Council, Dr. Laura Hargrove, Preet Takar, my dear friend, who helped all this happen, made it possible. Mayor Lippman, County Executive Pittman, welcome to the Maryland State House, the People's House. Your journey represents not just physical endurance, but spiritual discipline and moral clarity. Walking more than 2,300 miles is an act of faith and an act of service. The Governance Interfaith Council was created because we recognize something fundamental. Government alone cannot build healthy communities. Faith communities are anchors in times of crisis, healing, and celebration. They feed families, comfort the grieving, mentor young people, and stand on the front lines during moments of tragedy. Your work embodies the same spirit of service and moral leadership. Peace is often discussed in policy terms of public safety, diplomacy, and conflict resolution. But your pilgrim reminds us that peace is also a practice. It is mindfulness in moments of tension. It is compassion in moments of disagreement. It is discipline in moments of fear. That inner work strengthens our collective work. Maryland is home to vibrant communities of every faith and tradition, and many who do not practice religion, but share a deeply held value of service and compassion. The Interfaith Council works to foster dialogue across traditions, address hate and bias through education and solidarity, support collaborative service projects, and ensure faith communities have a voice in advancing the common good. Your presence today strengthens that mission. We are living in a moment of polarization, politically, socially, and even spiritually. Many communities are searching for ways to stay rooted in their values without becoming hardened by this division. The discipline of walking slowly, humbly, and consistently offers a powerful metaphor. Change does not happen in a sprint. It happens in faithful steps. And a faithful partner here. You know, Aloka is from India. So I have a lot of connection with Aloka here. We want to hear from you about what you witnessed on your journey. What gave you hope? Where did you see pain? What lessons should leaders carry forward from your experience? Public leadership requires not only policy, but moral imagination. Your example is a reminder to lead with humility and intention. Thank you for walking for peace. Thank you for reminding me that compassion requires action. Thank you for reminding me that engineers can do a whole lot of good in this world. And thank you for also being here in this moment to share your peace and compassion with the people of Maryland. May our work here in Maryland reflect that same spirit of your journey. And may this conversation Please begin. Continue. Thank you so much.
Everyone here. It's really, really special for me. It is very special for me and our venerable monks to be here in this State House, Maryland. This is the first State House that ever in this journey walk with peace that hosted us this way. So we are very grateful and honored. And as a leadership, I always say that I'm not really a leader, but just the one of the monks who lead the way, just to walk in front and try to take care of our venerable monks and all the team, all the members of the team to walk on this journey, go through all the challenges and obstacles and everything. It is very tough. It is very difficult and it is a lot of challenge for myself. And I learned a lot about listening. As the one who lead the way, I learned how to be patient. I learned how to listen to the others. And on this journey, I have listened to many stories from the people who are coming out for us, for people who come to me with tears. And one of the statement that they made my heart, because we didn't do anything except just to walk, to raise the awareness of peace to the people. But somehow it's given people a lot of hope to change their mindset from suicidal to get back their life, stand up again, to continue this walk on their journey in this world. And breathing method is something that they are now living with. And I'm very glad and grateful for all those people who come and share their story with us that way. And on this journey, we are not walking alone, like I mentioned earlier out there. On my ropes here, as you can see, we have all badges from all law enforcement, sheriff, SWAT, police, fire department, EMS, a lot of departments from Fort all the way to the UC. And all these is just honorary for me, depending on my role. It's also to show the support and also tells us that not just the monks who walk alone, but all the government officials, all the state representatives and government also put it on for you too. It means that we are walking together on this journey together, not just the venerable monks alone, not just the civilians, but all of us are on the same mission to bring peace to our people and to the world. So I'm very grateful to take on this journey, to walk that far, and to get here this morning in this State House of Maryland. Very honored and grateful, and I truly hope that this message will carry on, this message will live with all the people in this country and all the people in this world, so that peace can never be forgotten. Peace will be bloom and flourish throughout this world, throughout this universe. Thank you so much.
Venerable Pannakara, thank you so much for your is over. But I wanted to offer just a few minutes for our interfaith community, for our faith leaders. If you will take a question or two from our faith community, our interfaith council members. If you have a question or comment you would like to pose to the Venerable, we want to give you that opportunity now. So we ask that you stand and use your preaching voice so that everybody can hear you. Please give us your name. Imam Bhikkhu.
Yes. So this is great. I would day I was expecting to another but because they're doing how common all religion God is with me. We all have one common thing, which is peace. That peace is the most important anything. It's more important than praise. Itself is a prayer. And I was there myself, talking, meditating, just wanting to, probably going to know that the 110 days is meaningful for me. In my faith as a Sufi, it means over, it means Allah, it means God. 110 days. And the 111 days, it means all praise due to God. Alhamdulillah. And in our faith, Islam is saying, meaning every end of prayer, it ends by Allah. That's how I was meditating. I'm pretty sure Christians in faith see themselves meditating. I would see myself as a Muslim, subhanAllah. So happy to be here and delighted to be here. Thank you all. Thank you for the government. Thank you. Thank you, liaison, cake, chance. You're just so happy.
Thank you very much. We're going to give time for one more question. If anybody has a question before we move forward. Is there a question? Is it a question? Okay. All right. I do want to give a special thanks to the Venerable Monks volunteer, Dr. Niraj Bhattacharya, who has been, I know I've probably gotten on his nerves over the last couple of days, but I do want to thank you, sir, who would stand so people can see you. He has informed you. Along, of course, with Mr. Pannakara, we do thank you and all who have made this a priority. At this time, I would like to welcome our electeds and representatives to come forward for their presentations, and we will do it in this order. If we can begin with our Capitol Police, I believe that is Colonel Michael Wilson, Lieutenant Colonel Deputy Glenn McGuire, after which we will have the Montgomery County representatives, followed by our Annapolis Mayor, Jared Littman, and Anne Arundel County Executive, Mr. Stewart. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So my name is Glenn McGuire. I am your Deputy Chief for Maryland Capitol Police. So I speak on behalf of the Department of General Services and my Secretary. Secretary Chaudhry is with me as well. And I tell you, many things have been said. And I have to start by saying thank you. What you all do is remarkable. I've heard many things stated, but one thing I'll say is I'm going to change it and speak from my heart. And I'm going to tell you from a police officer how much what you all do means to us. The fact that you take the opportunity to sacrifice yourselves for the sake of peace, for the sake of unity, that is exactly what we love to do, what we took an oath to do, but also it encourages us. So at this particular time, it is my honor to present you with several things. The first thing is our badge.
The Maryland Capitol Police patch, we wear it on our shoulder proudly to represent our commitment and our oath. In addition, we also have a challenge coin that we also present to you. And the last but not least, I also have a badge that I will take off of my shirt. Hey, thanks for that. And again, thank you for what you do. Again, as you continue your journey, peace and blessings upon you. But I want you to think about all the law enforcement all over this country and how what you all do encourages us to do what we do. Bless you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate Chance, and I am the faith liaison for Montgomery County. And I'm joined by two of our faith community advisory group members, Abby Sharofsky and Chris Matthews. I am here representing the county executive, Mark Elrich from Montgomery County. He's so upset that he couldn't be here today. Meditation is a really important part of the county executive's life, and if he was here, he would talk at length about how important it is for him. So I know that he's really upset to not be here today. But I tell people all the time I have the best job in the world. I get to work with all of our amazing religious communities. And Montgomery County, Maryland is the most religiously diverse county in the whole country. We have more religions represented in Montgomery County than anywhere else. And we have the 5th highest Buddhist concentration in the world. We have over 20 Buddhist temples and nonprofits within Montgomery County. And so please come back and visit. Plenty of places for you to stay. And I know a number of those folks walked with you the past couple of days, so they couldn't be here today. But I'm glad to be joined by some other Montgomery County faith leaders as well. And I just want to say thank you for including us in a very small part of this long journey. It's been really meaningful to me, and I know to the rest of the world. And so thank you so much for what you're doing. And in a time that feels chaotic and overwhelming, and like all the actions we're taking aren't helping, to watch people take the slower path towards peace has been really motivational and beautiful. And so thank you so much for what you're doing. I have a pin and a proclamation to present to you. The County Executive of Montgomery County, Maryland awards the certificate to Sarveda Buddhist monks, Hungdao Buddhist Center, in recognition and appreciation of your extraordinary commitment to promoting peace, compassion, and unity through your walk for peace. Your pilgrimage, spanning hundreds of miles and touching countless hearts, serves as a powerful reminder of the values of nonviolence, mindfulness, and harmony that strengthen our society. I also want to recognize Alakoa, your faithful companion, whose presence on this journey reflects loyalty, resilience, and the spirit of togetherness that peace embodies. I honor your dedication to fostering understanding and goodwill across our country and community. Your efforts exemplify the highest ideals of humanity and inspire us all to work toward a more peaceful world. Signed, County Executive Mark Elrich, February 12, 2026. He heard his name.
Greetings. I bring greetings on behalf of the city of Annapolis. My name is Jared Lippman. I'm the mayor of Annapolis, and it is such an honor and pleasure to be with you today. I've learned some lessons even this morning. One is bring it on. And I appreciate the calming presence that your dog brings, but all of you bring a calming presence to me and the city of Annapolis. Your points earlier about being in the right place at the right time not only spoke to me, but I know thousands of people who came to hear you speak. There's so much suffering in the world. There's so much suffering locally and everywhere. And your reminders about needing to take a deep breath, or to be focused on peace, be focused on ourselves, of how we can contribute to the world and our community, spoke to me, and I know it spoke to the residents that I represent. So thank you for being here. We have a proclamation on behalf of the city of Annapolis. If you would be patient with me as I read it to you, I'd like to share this message. City of Annapolis Proclamation. Whereas the participants in the Walk for Peace have traveled for over 2,300 miles through the southern United States in 108 days, I think I heard 109 days, then we got to 10, now we're so 2 through that, maintaining a cruising pace of more than 20 miles a day. And whereas the Walk for Peace is founded on the desire to promote peace, love, and nonviolence, and whereas the message of the Walk for Peace has reached millions of people through social media, inspire them to take action and spread positivity. And whereas the Buddhist monks who originated the Walk for Peace have been joined on their journey by followers who believe in their mission and their journey, and whereas the participants in the Walk for Peace have persevered through numerous roadblocks, from harsh weather conditions to devastating injuries, and whereas the Walk for Peace was originally meant to conclude in Washington, D.C., but was extended into Maryland following an outpouring of support from the public, and whereas the members of the Walk for Peace have made their way to the Maryland state capitol, bringing a perseverance and undying power of will that mirrors the founding fathers who walked in the streets of Annapolis over 200 years ago. Now therefore I, Jared Lippman, Mayor of the City of Annapolis, do hereby proclaim February 12, 2026 as Walk for Peace Day in the City of Annapolis. There's something of this here as well. Our police chief, and Virginia, back here, brought two challenge pins, coins, excuse me. That I'll leave this here for you. Let's all the back to you, make sure you don't make it easy to carry. And there's a couple police pins in here as well. But if you notice, I am wearing a City of Annapolis pin, and so we brought one for each of you to have on your pin. And I would be certainly honored if I would be allowed to present one to you personally. And I'm going to take the cue from the officer here. I'll do my own personal one first.
Second to last one, right? My name is Stuart Pittman. I am the county executive of Anne Arundel County, which is the area outside of Annapolis, the middle of Maryland, 600,000 people. So on behalf of them, we also proclaim today Walk for Peace Day. Yay. But I want to congratulate all of you, because during the General Assembly session, which is happening right now, you were there, I believe, in the Senate, and almost every day, every week, there's a group of people who comes to Lawyers Mall where you work. They're there to protest, or they're there to advocate for something, and they always want to have as many people as they can have. I think the last time we had, I'm told, close to 10,000 people today. From the groups. The last time we had that many people, I believe it was the governor's inauguration that took place here. So you brought more people into Annapolis, into Lawyers Mall, than any group has in a very long time. And it was not organized, it was organic. People came because they saw something on social media. I did not know that you were walking from Texas until just a few days ago. One of my constituents said, "Are you going to be there? How do we participate?" Everybody found out about it just organically. And as I walked in, well, first of all, I'll tell you, it took a lot longer to get into Annapolis this morning because of you. Because of the 10,000 people that you brought than it normally does. And then as I walked in, the faces, just the sense of peace that you brought to the city and to the state today was exactly what we are all yearning for. And so thank you for reminding us that it comes from within to bring it to the world. And I also I have the proclamation. I will not read the whole thing because we'll be here for a long time, but thank you so much. And and I want you to know that when you came into the county, you saw a sign, there was a sign that said, Anne Arundel County, welcome, the best place for all. So this is the Anne Arundel County pit. So you want me to add it to your?
Oh, okay.
And now I'd like members of the Governor's Interfaith Council to come forward. They did have a presentation with news and for out of the Jennifer months that were with us. While they are coming, after the Lieutenant Governor shall have presented her proclamation, I'm going to ask that you would kindly allow the monks and the members of the Governor's Interfaith Council to exit the room first before anyone else exits. It would be most helpful to us and we would be very grateful. I do also want to acknowledge Secretary Chaudhry for all of the work that he has done to put this together. And if I forgot you, you started to the head and not the front. Absolutely. And Chief Bird, who is the Chief of Staff for our Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you again for being here, and I too want to take a moment to acknowledge the many individuals who made this extraordinary historic day possible in the city of Annapolis. So thank you to the Capitol Police. My goodness, you kept us all safe, everything organized, even though it was organic. And having your secretary said, Secretary Chaudhry, thank you so much. Because I know all of you worked around the clock for the past 5 days to make this possible. And to Team LG and Chief Bird, thank you so much, as well as Dr. Hargrove, who worked around the clock as well to make this possible. Moments like this don't just happen, just like that. It happens because so many people come together, work behind the scenes, and make it flow flawlessly and peaceful. But a lot of work goes into that. Peace does not come that easy. You have to work on it daily, 24/7, as you know. So on behalf of the Interfaith Council and the state of Maryland, we'd like to present this proclamation to you. And also, on behalf of the over 6 million Marylanders We are making Walk for Peace Day, February 12th, 2026. So this is a proclamation from the governor of the state of Maryland. Whereas peace is fundamental value that secures the future of humanity and serves as a cornerstone for societies across the globe to flourish, making communities safer, healthier, and more prosperous for generations to come. And whereas at the deep division and divisiveness across the country, there are a lot of Buddhist monks on their 2,300-mile walk for peace are bringing people together across racial, religious, economic, and geographic lines and proving there is a better way. And whereas the Walk for Peace pilgrim is expected to traverse the state of Maryland on February 12, 2026, where the blueprint of our nation's unity in the face of division was established, issuing the renewed call for greater compassion, understanding, and goodwill. And whereas the state of Maryland believes in the simple, powerful truth and the heart of our democracy, if we stand divided, we cannot win. But if we stand united, we cannot lose. And whereas on the Walk for Peace Day, the state of Maryland reaffirms its commitment to promoting peace, encouraging discourse, and building a more just and inclusive society for all, and calls for Marylanders to join us in this effort. One more group that I forgot to mention, and that is the great GO-SEE team here. Also,
On behalf of Governor Rushmore and Lieutenant Governor Bruno Miller and the Governor's Interfaith Council, we don't have a proclamation or a pen, but what we do have are these flowers. As many of us who are of different faith practices and traditions, we stand in solidarity in your walk for peace and unity in our world, and also we offer prayers of protection and endurance as you continue your journey.
I need to write all the thank yous ahead of time. So more groups I need to thank is the Annapolis Police. Thank you so much. If I didn't mention all of you, thank you for everything, for making this possible. I'm telling you, this would not have happened without all of your love and attention that you poured into this historic day that we will never, ever forget. Thank you again.
Thank you again for your.
In the bustling corridors of power, silence is a rare guest. Our state houses and government buildings are usually echo chambers of debate, policy, and urgent schedules, vibrating with the noise of the next election or the next crisis. Yet, recently, the Maryland State House, the oldest in the nation still in legislative use, played host to a different kind of power. It was a power that did not shout, did not demand, and did not run. It arrived on foot, wearing the dust of the road and the saffron robes of an ancient tradition. It was the power of the Walk for Peace, a pilgrimage that spanned over 2,300 miles from Texas to the nation's capital, ending in the quiet dignity of a reception room where politicians, police officers, and monks stood together in a shared hush of reverence. When we look at the world today, it is easy to feel that the only way to be heard is to be louder than the person standing next to us. We are conditioned to believe that influence requires force and that change requires speed. But as Venerable Bhikkhu Pannakara and his fellow monks stood before that assembly of leaders, they offered a radical counter-testament. They had walked through heat, through biting winter cold, and through physical injury, not to conquer a territory, but to conquer the hardness of the human heart. In their presence, the frantic energy of the modern world seemed to evaporate, replaced by a stillness that was both grounding and electric. This moment invites us to pause and reflect on a question that is as personal as it is political. If peace is not a destination we rush toward, but a path we must walk, how do we take that first step in our own overwhelmed lives? To understand the magnitude of this journey, we must look beyond the geography. Yes, they walked from Fort Worth, Texas, to Annapolis, Maryland. Yes, they traversed the American South, crossing bridges and highways where the roar of traffic usually drowns out the sound of footsteps. But the true distance traveled was internal. In a culture obsessed with efficiency and shortcuts, the decision to walk, to move at the speed of a human heartbeat, is a revolutionary act. The lieutenant governor, in her welcome, noted deeply that change does not happen in a sprint. It happens in big, bold steps. This is the first profound lesson the Walk for Peace offers us, the wisdom of the slowed pace. We live in an era of acceleration. We want our internet faster, our food faster, and our healing faster. When we feel pain or anxiety, our instinct is to run away from it or to rush through it to get to the good part. But the monks remind us that there is no teleportation device for the soul. You cannot skip the miles between Texas and Maryland, and you cannot skip the necessary steps of your own life. Imagine the discipline required to wake up on day 40, or day 80, or day 100, knowing you have another 20 miles to walk on sore feet. This is the practice of staying with. In mindfulness, we often talk about anchoring ourselves in the present moment, but rarely do we see it embodied with such physical grit. Every step the monks took was a refusal to be somewhere else. It was a commitment to this mile, this road, this struggle. For us, the miles might look different. They might be a difficult marriage we are working through, a career transition that feels endless, or a season of grief that refuses to lift. The temptation is to check out, to numb ourselves, or to surrender to bitterness. The monk's example invites us to simply take the next step, not the 100th step, just the next one. There is a profound peace that settles on us when we stop fighting the length of the journey and surrender to the rhythm of the walk. As they walked, something miraculous began to happen. The walk became a magnet. It wasn't just a movement of feet, it was a movement of hearts. Venerable Bhikkhu Pannakara spoke with touching vulnerability about the people they met along the roadside. These were not dignitaries or celebrities, they were everyday Americans carrying the heavy, often invisible burdens of modern existence. He shared stories of individuals who approached the monks in tears, people who were on the brink of giving up on life entirely. There is a concept in mindfulness called deep listening, listening without the intent to reply, to fix, or to judge, but simply to witness. As the monks walked, they became a moving sanctuary of this deep listening. The Venerable mentioned people moving from a mindset of suicidal thoughts to a desire to stand up again. How did this happen? The monks didn't offer financial aid. They didn't have policy solutions or magic wands. They offered their presence. In our culture, we often undervalue the power of simply being there. We think we need to have the right words or the perfect advice to help a friend in crisis. But the alchemy of the Walk for Peace suggests that what human beings starve for most is not advice, but acknowledgement. When someone walked up to the monks on a lonely stretch of highway and poured out their heart, the monks held that space. They validated the suffering just by witnessing it. This is a practice we can all adopt. We don't need to walk across the country to do it. We can do it at the dinner table. We can do it in the break room. When we truly listen to another person, when we drop our defenses and our distractions, we are walking for peace. We are telling that person, your pain is real, and you are not walking alone. That simple transmission of empathy is often the difference between despair and hope. This connection with strangers led to one of the most visually and emotionally striking aspects of the pilgrimage, one that challenges our deepening societal divides. As the monks stood in the State House, their robes were heavy not just with fabric, but with metal. Pinned to their saffron vestments were badges, police badges, sheriff's stars, patches from SWAT teams and fire departments from the Northwest all the way to D.C. In the current American narrative, we are often told that we must choose sides. We are told that spiritual peace and law enforcement, or protesters and police, occupy different universes. Yet here was a visual refutation of that separation. The deputy chief of the Capitol Police, a man who has spent his life in uniform, stood before the monks, visibly moved, and removed the badge from his own chest to present it to them. He spoke of his heart being full, and the sacrifice the monks made. This moment illuminates the mindfulness principle of interbeing. the understanding that we are all inextricably connected. The badge on the monk's robe is a symbol that peace is not the property of a specific religion or political leaning. It is a universal human hunger. The police officer seeks peace in his community just as the monk seeks peace in his heart. When the monks walked, they didn't see cops or civilians, they saw suffering beings and hopeful beings. They saw the human beneath the uniform. For us, this is perhaps the most challenging lesson. It asks us to look at the people we consider other, those on the opposite side of the political aisle, those with different badges or labels, and recognize their shared desire for safety, dignity, and peace. It asks us to walk with people we might otherwise walk away from. The presence of Aloka, the peace dog who journeyed with them, further softened the human boundaries, reminding us that this desire for companionship and safety crosses even the species barrier. If a monk, a police officer, and a dog can walk the same path in harmony, surely we can find common ground in our own fractured communities. However, we must be careful not to romanticize this peace as something soft or passive. The officials at the reception, including the lieutenant governor, were keen to point out that peace is active and intentional. It is not merely the absence of conflict, it is the presence of discipline. The walk for peace was not a leisurely stroll. It was a grueling physical ordeal. They walked through hard winter conditions. They endured injuries. 2 monks were hurt, yet the group kept moving. This brings us to the grit of mindfulness. True peace is a warrior's discipline. It is easy to be peaceful when we are sitting on a cushion in a climate-controlled room with soft music playing. It is much harder to be peaceful when we are cold, tired, misunderstood, or in pain. The monks demonstrated that peace is a muscle that must be exercised, particularly when the conditions are unfavorable. When the mayor of Annapolis joked about the traffic the monks caused, "It took a lot longer to get into Annapolis this morning because of you," he touched on a deeper truth. Peace disrupts the status quo. It disrupts our rush. It forces us to slow down, which can be irritating to our ego but healing for our soul. The work of peace that the speakers alluded to, the work that happens after the walking stops, is the daily grind of choosing patience over anger, compassion over judgment, and dialogue over dismissal. It is the work of staying open when our instinct is to close down. The monks showed us that we can endure much more than we think we can, provided we have a purpose that is larger than our own comfort. Their blistered feet are a testament that love is not a sentiment, it is labor. Perhaps the most disarming aspect of this entire journey was the leadership style of Venerable Bhikkhu Pannakara himself. Standing before a room full of people with titles, governors, mayors, colonels, directors, he quietly demurred, "I am not really a leader, just the one of the monks who lead the way, just to walk in front." In a world that celebrates the loudest voice and the biggest brand, this humility is startling. He did not claim to be a guru. He described his role as simply taking care of our fellow monks and learning how to listen. Yet, this non-leadership catalyzed a movement that brought 10,000 people to Lawyers' Mall, a crowd size usually reserved for inaugurations or massive protests. The county executive noted that this wasn't organized, it was organic. This teaches us about the magnetic power of authenticity. We often think we need to force outcomes or manipulate situations to get results. But the walk for peace shows that if you align your actions with your values, if you simply walk your talk, people will follow. They will follow not because you commanded them, but because you inspired them. The monk's humility created a vacuum that others rushed to fill with their own support and love. By making himself small, he allowed the message of peace to become huge. By refusing to take credit, he empowered everyone else to take ownership of the mission. This is a lesson for parents, for managers, and for community leaders. True influence doesn't come from standing above people, it comes from walking alongside them. It comes from being the first to take the difficult step, the first to show vulnerability, the first to extend a hand. When we lead with humility, we create space for others to rise. As the reception drew to a close and the proclamations were read, declaring, "Walk for Peace Day," there was a palpable sense that the journey was not ending, but transforming. The physical walking from Texas to Maryland was finished. The final mile to the State House was complete. But the real pilgrimage was just beginning for everyone in that room, and by extension, for all of us. The monks cannot walk our path for us. They can only show us that the path exists. They have returned to their daily lives, and now we are left with the silence in our own living rooms. The question hangs in the air. What is our walk? What is the journey we are being called to take? Maybe your walk for peace is forgiving a family member who has hurt you. Maybe it is finally addressing an addiction that has stolen your joy. Maybe it is simply committing to be more present with your children, putting down the phone and truly seeing them. Whatever the terrain of your life looks like, the principles remain the same. Take it one step at a time. Listen deeply to the suffering within yourself and others. Recognize the badge of humanity in everyone you meet. Accept that it will be hard and that you will get tired, but keep going. The world feels unsettled. The news cycle is a constant barrage of division and anxiety. It is easy to feel small and helpless. But if a small group of monks can walk out of Texas and, step by step, ignite a chain reaction of love that reaches the highest halls of government, then surely we have the power to change the atmosphere of our own homes and workplaces. We are all pilgrims here. We are all just walking each other home. Let us take the next step with the same intention, the same humility, and the same fierce love. Let us walk so that every step prints peace upon the earth.